Now let's look at time intervals applied to our sequence. You probably already noticed at the top there's these little clocks here. The first one provides an after criteria to the sequence, and then the second one provides a within criteria. I think it's all pretty straightforward, except I want you to understand really what the number here means. If we were to switch over to something that fits our example, which is the minutes, and we were to look at the number 0, maybe think for a moment, what does after 0 minutes mean? You may think, well, 0 minutes is roughly 0 time, so does that mean it's after, just 0 minutes, 0 seconds? It's all kind of 0, right? But that's not the case. So 0 minutes actually includes 0 up to 59 seconds, or once you get to a whole minute. So it's basically taking that minute second number and truncating off the seconds. So the 0th minute is really that first minute. So when you're saying after 0 minutes, you're talking about looking for people who started at 1 minute after page B and then saw page C, right? With the within, if we were to look at the within, and if we were to say within 0 minutes, that means it's not, once again, it could be confusing. You may think 0 minutes, that's the same as 0 time. So are we saying that it had to happen at the same time? C had to happen at the same time as B, because that's not really possible. No, it's the 0th, or the, that initial minute, which is anywhere from 0 seconds up to 59 seconds. So don't let that fool you if you're looking at it. And then obviously if we go up from there, this would be within 1 minute, which is actually 1 second up to, or 0 to 1 second. 0 is not really possible, but anywhere after page B up until 1 minute and 59 seconds. So just keep in mind that's how that works there. Most of the granularity here is based on time, but you do have a visits incrementer as well. So if it is after 0 minutes or after 0 visits, that means you're looking at actually the next visit, not the same visit. So don't let that confuse you either. Okay, so let's look at a few examples. Let's look for those who saw page B more than a minute passed, and then they see page C. So in our example below, we have page B is the page for all of these scenarios, more than a minute passed, and they saw page C. So there's 2 that qualify for that. There's visitor X here, where a minute and a half passed, and then they saw page C. And then for visitor Q, there's about 3 minutes that passed, because they saw page D after 1.5 minutes, and then at 1.6 minutes after D, they then saw C. So it's about a minute. So if one of those who saw page B more than a minute passed, then they saw page C, what we can do is keep our criteria the same, because we want page B and then C. And then we're going to say after 0 minutes, because once again, this is 0 seconds up to 59 seconds, and everything after that is the minute is past the minute mark. If we then hit refresh, we see we have the results for 2 visits, 2 visitors, which are our visitor X and our visitor Q here. Now let's go to the next example. Let's say we want to see those who saw page B and then under a minute passes, and then they see page C. Well, with the after, since 0 minutes is really 1 minute, you really can't get immediately after B, so we actually don't really want to use that at all. We want to use the within criteria here on the then statement. So we want to say within 0 minutes, and that's going to be up to the 59 second mark. We want to see people who saw B, and then within 1 minute saw C. If we refresh the data, we see we get 2 because of visitor Y here. That's one that's under 1 minute to see page C. And then we have visitor R, where they saw B, and then under a minute they saw page C as well. Okay, let's do one more. Let's look at those who saw page B more than a minute, but under 2 minutes passed, and then they saw C. So based on what we know, now that we know that 0 is really, that's really within 1 minute, if we up this up one and we're on the 1 minute mark, that's going to take everything from 1 minute 59 seconds and lower. And then we want to exclude people that were part of that first minute. So by using the combination of these two, we're going to look for people who are after the 0th minute, which is beyond 59 seconds, and within the 2 minute mark, or our first whole minute. I know that's confusing, but it's really within the 2 minutes. They then saw page C. We're going to get 1. That is because of our page X here, or our visitor X here. Visitor Q is beyond the 1 minute mark, but page C is then seen beyond the 3 minute mark, which doesn't work with our question. We want people between 1 and 2 minutes, which is what our criteria here gives us. So it gives us very exact information on what visitor that was, and that was visitor X. Okay, now let's look at an example where we're looking at a combination of these, and this will be the last one, I promise. We want to look at the time interval with a logical group. So let's look at those who saw page B, then page D and C in under a minute. So in this case, I'm going to remove my criteria there, add a container, and this I'm going to make, or I need to change this to a then first, make this a logical group. I want people who saw page C and D. So I have my and criteria there. I want people who saw both of those in under a minute, which basically is only our, it's a little ambiguous here in the chart, but that's visitor R there. They saw page B, and then under a minute for C and D. They were able to see both of those pages. See, I don't want to use after because I'm doing more of a within statement, and I want to look at 0 minutes. Those are people who saw it within up to the 59 second mark. So when I refresh this, I should get 1, and I do, and that's because of visitor R here. So that's a good example of how you can use the logical group in connection with the then statement and the time intervals as well. Now, one last thing before I close off, keep in mind that as you are segmenting here, that all of this depends on the data within your time range. So if you're looking at maybe sequencing off of people who had a first time visit, and then you want a certain number of days or whatnot until their second visit, just know that you're going to be looking for people with a first visit within the time range of your report. So it's all done real time, or this is processed real time, and just within that particular window that you specify when you first open the project for your particular dates. I will post this online. Hopefully this helped you get familiar with some of the new functionality here within Discover, and gets you started using the segment builder and the sequencing available there. I will likely post additional examples and more complicated examples in the future. If you have a particular scenario you're trying to work on, feel free to send me a tweet at Will Leitner, and we can talk about that, or I may take that as a follow-up post and add that to our site as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this mini training, and have a great day.